Welcome back to another video, and today I'll be discussing the newest makeup announcements and releases. Welcome back, and today I'll be going through some of the new makeup announcements and releases that have been made, and it's a pretty packed makeup news video. I was kind of thinking, because for example last week's video I don't think we had that many things, and I was kind of expecting that we are probably going to have a couple of now slower weeks since we are getting to the end of the year, but oh no, there is quite a few things, but a lot of these are sneak peeks to next year's spring launches, beginning of the year launches, so that kind of explains a lot of it why we are actually having quite a few things in this one. I had a sort of double party weekend. I'm not usually much of a party goer, but usually before Christmas there are a few pre-Christmas parties that I usually like to attend, so I was actually on both on Saturday evening and then on Friday evening I was actually at a doing some celebrating, which is you can definitely feel it once you're in your 30s that you don't recover as quickly as when you were on your 20s. So I think I've had now my fill of pre-Christmas parties, so if my voice kind of sounds that it's a bit down, that's probably the reason, because I've been in loud spaces with loud music and where I have to have speak up a bit louder in order to have myself heard. But yeah, that's if you're wondering why my voice is maybe a bit down, that's the reason I've been a bit of on a celebration row. But pre-Christmas parties, we should be now done with those, and now it's just gonna be waiting for that Christmas Eve, which is in my country the time when we actually celebrate Christmas instead of the Christmas Day. But yeah, a bit of intro background, and now let's start talking about the new launches, because as I said, there is quite a few things to go through. Alright, and let's start, and this is actually one of the first sneak peeks of spring launches. We have seen the eyeshadow quad previously from this particular YSL launch in my channel, because it was the first one that leaked, but now we're kind of having more of the collection. So this seems to be called the Sparkling Desires collection by YSL, and there is going to be a new couture mini clutch quad in this one. It's gonna be in the shade 126 Sparkling Lust. Then we are gonna have, I think there is two new shades in with their sort of candy gloss, these sort of shiny lip stick or glosses that they have. And then I think there's gonna be a cushion foundation, which I do think the post says that the cushion foundation, which usually seems to be the case with these luxury launches, is that the cushion foundation is Asia exclusive. But I think the rest of the products might be something that are gonna come to also to the other retailers. When this is going to be available outside of Asia, it can take time. It could be that this is a beginning of the year launch right after the New Year's, or it can be that it won't be until spring that we get this on other regions. But I did already discuss when the eyeshadow palette was kind of leaked and already featured in this channel. I do kind of like the packaging design, but having a pink glitter design, it's usually a pretty good way of getting me convinced. But looking at the color story inside, it is kind of this sort of very dainty, muted pink kind of quad. I do think this would make as a sense of being a Valentine's launch for the maybe for the Western market, but there's not a lot of information about this, what kind of launch this is supposed to be. But I do like the packaging, I kind of like the colors, but this is not something that I still need, and considering that this is still going to be pretty pricey because it's YSL, the packaging alone is not going to make me buy this one. More YSL, this is going to apparently also come during spring 2026, so this is the Ice Light Powder. So this is advertised as water-like sheer liquid powder that melts upon contact with the skin, and this is supposed to create a smooth silky complexion, and apparently it's supposed to also conceal pores and shine. Well, this is how should I say, the description makes it look quite sound quite interesting. Because it's going to be a YSL powder, I do think it's going to be more on the expensive side, and in my case, because I still do kind of need powder, because while it is a more combo dry skin at the end of the day, my oils still seem to come through, so I need a powder, but I don't need definitely a more heavy powder like I used to maybe 5 years ago. Actually, this could maybe be something that would be quite suitable for my particular skin type, but because it's YSL, it's probably going to be pretty pricey, so kind of like the description this is giving off, but probably because of the price point and because I still go through actually my powders, it might actually be something that I might skip because of the price point. Then a launch that definitely is an Asia exclusive. So Maybelline is coming out with a collaboration with Hello Kitty, and this is very cute, but I just wanted to feature this as, maybe the cutest launch of maybe included in this video, but unfortunately in the Western market, sorry, this is not going to make to our retailers. I think there is what is going to be included is that they're going to have some of their like lip tints are going to be included in this one. Then I think there is a mascara, and their Fit Me foundation is also going to be in this one, and also one of the like eye makeup removers. This is very cute and adorable, but unfortunately, as I said, you have to be in probably Asia to be able to access this, but it's very cutesy, that's why I wanted to feature in this video. Then something for Gourmande girls. So these are again these late of the year indie launches that we are still seeing some. So this is called the, what is this? This is gonna be one of the palette that is gonna be included in the Ice Cream Beauty Box. This is a indie brand exclusive subscription box that I do think is available in US, but I do think they might also ship it internationally. And this is the Le Petite Maison. How did my French sound? Still not a language that I speak, so unfortunately sorry about the pronunciation. I do think it is quite of a Christmassy palette, even though I don't think the theme is necessarily meant to be directly like as a Christmas palette. And I do think that if you are getting this with a subscription box, I do think the Gourmande girls, like, their quality has been a bit hit and miss. Some of their palettes, one of their palettes I tried, I liked. Then there was another one, it was a peach themed one last year. I wasn't such a big fan of that one. So I'm a bit 50-60 about this brand, but I do think having seen some, because I actually do like to watch unboxing videos of beauty subscription boxes, even though they are usually something that I can't access because a lot of the good ones are US exclusive. But I do think the Ice Cream Beauty Box, at least based on the value that I have seen, it seems to be quite a good box, especially if you want to try indie brands, because I do think the price point is pretty decent for the amount of products you get in it. I have no idea, is this something that's still gonna launch separately on Gourmande Girl's own website, but maybe keep your eyes open, it could become also available separately. More high-end, and we are definitely having going into the complexion season, which is usually a thing that happens in the beginning of the year. Prada is coming out with a new concealer. This is the Blurring Micro Correcting Concealer. The packaging is pretty in line with, I say, the foundation bottle that Prada has within their line. I mean, I think it's quite of a like expected thing. They had the foundation. I do think the foundation is got a pretty decent reviews for luxury foundation. It's no surprise that they're gonna continue that range, coming out with a concealer separately. Prada Beauty is not something. Oh wait, actually, hold on. No, yeah, Prada Beauty is actually, yeah, Prada Beauty is something that I unfortunately can't access in our stores. I could actually order it online. I do believe Look Fantastic actually stocks them, and you can order it also to my country. But for me, it's a skip because concealer is probably going to be pretty expensive again, and complexion products again are a product that I use up. I have to actually rebuy them, so I don't like to spend too much money on my complexion products, so this is out again because of the price point. Another sort of leak for spring launches, so this seems to be Tom Ford spring launch. I do have to say, in terms of the packaging, I was kind of thinking that this looks actually more like a fall launch because it has this very deep, almost burgundy leather packaging, and then when you look at the shades, especially inside the quad, those are kind of more, what I would say, autumny colors rather than spring colors, so that was a bit surprising. I do think we have seen maybe this kind of color story where there's a pop of khaki green, and then we have this kind of like very muted, almost like beigey tones in it, but yeah, usually Tom Ford collections, I like to feature them because I do know there is a certain group of people who like to keep up with the Tom Ford launches, but for me, we have still not seen the Tom Ford launch that I have gone out and say that I have to buy this, especially because the quad are, even for like luxury ports, pretty pricey. But this is going to be, the whole collection is going to be launching apparently already in January. I don't think for the, usually to the European retailers it can maybe take time, so probably in the first launch places this is going to come out in January, but it might take some time for it to make it to all the retailers because January sounds very early. Then something from P.Louise. So P.Louise's budget box, which this is officially their December budget box, but as always it's a bit funny how they launched this. Their December budget box won't ship out until the end of December, meaning that you're not gonna get it until the January, especially here in Europe, because there's gonna be like a whole shutdown for 2 weeks time when it's the holiday, like Christmas season. So yes, this is the P.Louise December budget box, but you're not gonna get this until January if you order this one. I don't feature all of these, but this one I did want to feature again because this actually it has kind of nice contents, especially if you're looking to go into eyeshadow. So within this box, they are usually have a box specific theme. This time it is the Teddy Touch budget box. And within this budget box, there is a set of makeup brushes. They have one of these 3-layered or 3-tiered palettes, and then I think they have a new variation of their sort of like lip balm that they are now doing in a shimmery version. I'm low-key thinking that I would like to kind of get this, but I don't need this sort of very, like, we all know, I don't need a huge neutral palette. So basically how this palette is composed is that there's one whole row, or not a row, but one palette of like shimmers, and then there is 2 separate like palettes within this one huge palette. That one is side of cool tone mattes and one is warm tone mattes. I don't think that this has the cream formulas, because I haven't been a fan of the cream formulas. I tried one of the palettes during this year with P.Louise that had the new cream formula, and that was the kind of cream formula that I don't like with my eyeshadows. It was the kind of very emollient that's gonna make your eyeshadows crease, and it's just like doesn't help with the longevity. But I think with this one it kind of looks that they might have like left out the cream formulas, which is good, especially if you're someone who suffers from creasy eyelids. Also, I do think like you're getting a full-on like makeup brush set, and then you're getting the sort of shimmery lip balm lip gloss thing. So I do think in terms of, especially if you are a makeup fan and you want to try something from P.Louise, this budget box could actually be a pretty good deal. Even if you would do only, because if you have the regular subscription, you get it a bit cheaper, but you can have a one-time purchase. I did check the price, so one-time purchase for this box, it was a bit over 50 euros, but considering I think the items you get in this one, I do think it was a pretty like a decent deal. Then we have something from SHELLWE Makeup. So this is a C Beauty indie brand, and they are coming out with a Ghoul palette. I do think this is kind of a grungy Christmas, yeah, grungy Christmas, Halloween, maybe something in between is how I would describe this kind of color story. SHELLWE's color stories are usually on the grungier side. This is why the brand has never appealed to me. They were available for some time on Monolith Shop, but I don't think, I'm thinking that have their latest launch maybe made it to their website, but some of their previous launches were available on Monolith Shop. But you can, I think, shop this particular brand in quite a lot of like these websites that do stock a lot of like Asian makeup brands. So maybe if you can't find this on Monolith Shop, but if you live in Europe and are interested in this, then maybe look on other these sort of big C Beauty retailers, because I can like see that this would be maybe a very nice color story too, especially some people who like indie brands a lot. NARS spring release. So this is called the Deeply Blooming collection. I'm not sure is this the only spring release we're gonna see from NARS, or is there gonna be more, but with this one I think we are gonna have a shade extension of their powder blush line, and then we are gonna have some new lip products. There's gonna be the Afterglow Sensual Shine Slim Lipsticks. That is a very hard combination of speaking words for someone who is not speaking English as their first language. Then we're gonna have some new NARS blushes, and then there's gonna be even Afterglow lip balms. So yeah, that is quite a lot. Since NARS is now stocked in quite a few of our makeup retailers, I'm kind of thinking that is this gonna be actually something that we're gonna have, because this seems to be like a full-on like staple line extension. So yeah, interested to see. I do like especially the individual blushes that NARS has in this powder blush formula, so could be maybe interested to see some of the new shades once these make it to the like our retailers. But this is definitely not a collection that I'm like running out to like ordering online. There's nothing that unusual with this one. So some more indie. So we're having a new launch from bellabeautébar, and they have been launching a lot of back-to-back like palette launches, and considering that bellabeautébar is not a cheap indie brand, I think maybe some of us are starting thinking that could we please slow down, because, and they are not like small palettes, they are launching like full-on full-size big palettes, for example this one. So this is called the Chrystallize Palette. I was kind of looking at this one, and I do think the gradient, I am kind of maybe missing some mid-tone shades, because there seems to be quite a lot of light matte shades, then we have the shimmers, and then there's like a couple of very deep mattes, and then we have maybe a couple of mid-tone shades, but I am kind of maybe missing some in-between shades with this one. Altogether, I do think if you kind of like this maybe muted pastel vibe that this kind of palette is going for, this could be nice to try. I have tried one bellabeautébar palette. I wasn't so in love with the brand as maybe other indie makeup users have been. So that is the reason why I haven't been buying them, and also because they are more on the expensive side, because they use a lot of indie shades, like not indie but these special shades. So yeah, and this is not a palette that I am also like not interested in because of the color story, so it's a skip for me. I do believe Monolith Shop said, hey, we actually have now the official Monolith Shop launch date for the like last launch of this year, so if you live in Europe and want to shop through Monolith Shop, 14th of December is gonna be their launch date before holiday, and I do believe that if you just maybe shop on the 14th, because they use express shipping with DHL, then you are probably able to get your order before the sort of like holiday season in here in Europe comes, and we are then having 2 weeks, not just gonna move around. So that's just information out for you out there. And this palette will be on Monolith Shop launch, and this is already available on bellabeautébar's own website. So if you live in US or want to shop directly from their website, you can already order it from there. Rare Beauty is launching some lip butter balms. I'm kind of thinking that it took quite a while because these lip balms have been definitely having their moment within the sort of lip product category, so I'm a bit surprised it took Rare Beauty this long. This is unfortunately one of those brands that I can't access because my country doesn't have a Sephora in them, and Rare Beauty is a quite Sephora exclusive brand here in Europe. There are also other retailers you can get it, but mainly if you like, mainly Sephora is the main place that you can get Rare Beauty in the European countries. It looks like a nice lip balm, but I'm good, I don't need this one. But if you are a Rare Beauty fan, this could be something to look into. More lip balms. So Patrick Ta is coming out with his variation. So these are the Patrick Ta Beauty Bright. Actually, no, sorry. No, it's just like lip balms. Do these actually have a name or are just called lip balms? I think they're just called like lip balms. Again, these look quite nice, but or like a decent range of lip balms, but I think we have now seen this type of like lip balm in a squeezy tube from quite many brands. Patrick Ta is also a pretty pricey brand, so maybe you can get something similar at a more affordable prices. Some more complexion. So NYX is coming out with the Make & Wonder Soft Matte Buildable Foundation. So is this gonna be replacing, because they have the one foundation that I have actually also tried. I wasn't such a big fan of it, but it's one of their like most popular Can't Stop, Won't Stop, I think it was something like that, which is their like the regular foundation, the pretty like full coverage foundation they have had in their line. So is this gonna be the one replacing that? Soft matte, that buildable foundation. So this is either gonna be one of those satiny like soft matte foundation that my skin type actually likes very much, or then it's gonna be one of those like the Maybelline foundation that came out during this year that was very popular, that kind of said that it has a soft matte finish, but it actually was like I think more of a traditional matte foundation that, for example, on my particular skin type, which is no longer oily but combo dry, wasn't my favorite foundation. I was able to like make it work, but it wasn't my favorite. So this is also sounds like it's gonna be it's either gonna be this like nice satin kind of foundation that suits me, or it's gonna be like a soft matte, but actually it's more like a matte foundation that doesn't suit me. I haven't had the best of luck with NYX foundation. I've tried 2 foundation products from NYX and I didn't like either of them, so we shall see. Is this already available on States? Because this is probably where it has been. It's available on NYX's own website, so in US, and it's gonna be $16 US. So this is probably again gonna be one of those foundation launches that's first gonna launch on the States, and it's gonna probably come to Europe next year at some point. So for us European consumers, we will have to wait, but in US you can get this from NYX's website. The second NYX launch was the Epic Ink Stick Cream Mechanical Gel Liner. Okay, that was an unnecessary long name. Did they already have gel liners in their line? Is this like a completely new product, or are they revamping an old one? Because I'm pretty certain they had at least something similar in their line previously. If you are into your metallic lip liners, actually some of these seem to actually have a matte finish. So sorry, not all of these are. Some of these are metallic and some of these are matte finishes. I don't do these very graphic eye looks, but if you are into your graphic eye looks, these could be a nice addition to your collection. So, Glamshop is coming out with a new full-on collection, and it has been quite a while since they came out with a full-on collection. Because this brand shipping is pretty expensive outside of Poland, so it's like 20 euros, it's no use for me to order something that they launch individually, because usually the product price is lower than the shipping price. So I have been waiting for quite a while for them to come out with a full-on collection, because that's usually how it makes more sense to order from them. So this is officially their holiday collection. Within this one there are 2 illuminating baked blushers, there's a burgundy eyeliner, there's one of their matte lipsticks. I'm actually wearing one of the matte lipsticks from their staple line. I don't remember the color now, but it's one of the muted pink ones. Then there is a lip liner, a lip gloss, and then a sort of like eyeshadow palette, like 9-pan eyeshadow palette, and I think there's also a brush set and baked powder included in this one. The eyeshadow palette is more of what I would say a brown smoky eyeshadow palette which kind of like for holiday party season. I can see this being someone's like cup of tea. And I do kind of like some of the individual items, but as a whole this isn't necessarily not a collection that makes me like want to order from them, but I'm happy to see at least that we did get one full-on collection during this year, because as I said, they've been very into their like individual product launches. Then a cushion foundation. So L'Oreal Paris has released a new cushion foundation. This is the Infallible Airwear 24-hour cushion foundation. The Infallible line is their more matte leaning line, so I'm a bit curious because usually I think cushion foundations are maybe advertised as being this more like true to skin kind of finishes, but because the Infallible line is more of a like full coverage line, I would be pretty curious to see how this like some reviews, not something I would maybe go straight out by, because the sort of concept of this sort of cushion foundation isn't my favorite, but I would be very interested to see reviews. Is this like one of the more full coverage ones? No idea again that this is apparently available in Germany, so if this is available in Germany, that actually kind of gives me hope that this would come to other European countries pretty quickly, because usually with L'Oreal we've seen a lot of their launches being like initially state exclusive, but if this is available in Germany, maybe this will come to also our retailers relatively quickly. But yeah, maybe for me, if this goes to being a very full-on heavy matte coverage foundation, then this probably isn't one for me, but if it's something maybe a bit more skin-like but still gives a decent coverage, then this could be something interesting. Then something from Ensley. So Ensley has launched a new palette, and this is actually a continuation of their Cold Moon. I do have the original Cold Moon palette. That is one of my favorite like palettes altogether that I have in my collection, because it's basically this mauvish cool tone palette. This is the Cold Moon Volume 2, and this is definitely a lot more grey leaning than the original. I'd say this is like grey muted, like I think with the deep shades there's like these almost like plummy burgundy shades included, but especially with the shimmers, those look to be more silver leaning. I have been kind of like looking at the swatches of this one, thinking that do I like this or do I don't, because while I'm a huge fan of cool tone eyeshadow palettes, if it's a very grey leaning palette, then it's a skip for me, because with a cool rosy undertone, the rosy aspect makes kind of some greys look a bit like I don't look healthy if I have just full on like just grey eyeshadow. So compared to if you have the original Cold Moon, I do think this is different enough to that one, because the original Cold Moon, it was definitely this more mauvish pinkish cool tone with like browns in it. This is like more goes to the grey scale of things. I am kind of thinking a lot of the shimmers, because they are silver based shimmers, are these shimmers especially gonna look a bit too similar to each other, because I do think with the original Cold Moon palette there was maybe a bit also the issues that some of the shimmers kind of did look a bit samey with each other. So yeah, that's always the risk you do have when you do like palettes this size. Bit unsure, is this gonna make it to the Monolith Shop's November launch, or is this something that's not gonna be available until their like January launch, but this is most likely gonna be available on Monolith Shop if you want to shop this within Europe. On Ensley's own website, it's going to be available on the 12th of September, so I think it's going to be launching after my video goes live. We'll have to see how much editing time I will need for this one. More Spring 2026. So we have Guerlain Spring release, and this looks like a very typical, what I would say, high-end spring release. So we have a couple of pops of color, but otherwise the quad is pretty neutral. I am liking the lipstick cases. Again, not a product I would want to invest in, because then I would be stuck with using Guerlain lipsticks that are like individually alone expensive. And then they have their sort of like meteorite powder. I kind of like the meteorite powder packaging. The spring flower on top, embossing on top of it is kind of cute. I like the design, and I kind of like the colors. Not again maybe something I would actually want to spend my money on, but it's a like nice for the luxury consumer. Then we have actually now the full, I think this is the full range of Givenchy Spring collection. I did feature part of this in my last week's video, but I don't think we had like every product in it, but now we actually I think have most of it. So aside from the Prism Lip Ray powder and the lip oils, we do get a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. This is something that Givenchy usually does with their limited edition collection. There is, I think, primers included in this one, and then we have some, what else are we having? Perfect Shine lipsticks, I think those we did see last week already, and then there is a lip oils were also featured last week. I do kind of like this dainty pink orangey theme we have going on with the like eyeshadow palette. The 9-pan eyeshadow palettes from Givenchy, these are quite pricey for what you are getting, and don't expect anything like revolutionary in terms of like textures, but I kind of say, yeah, I'm gonna say just like with the Guerlain collection, I kind of like the color choices, and especially if you are into your like luxury releases, this could be a nice spring collection to look into. But for me, it's a skip. It's just not the type of makeup that I usually like to invest my money in. Those were the products I had for today. I think it might be just the end of the year thing, but there wasn't like anything. There were like few interesting things, like yeah, the P.Louise budget box, but it's not like really anything. Like I have my fill of neutral palettes, I have my fill of makeup brushes. I am gonna get quite a few makeup brushes with the Glosscards advent calendar. If you've been watching my shorts, I am again running this December, just like I did during last December, this ongoing short series on my channel that I every day like open the door or the day in the sort of advent calendar and reveal what the product is in it. So I know that in the Glosscards advent calendar there's going to be brushes, so I also don't need to invest in a P.Louise budget box that has like there's going to be a set of brushes, and then there's going to be a huge neutral eyeshadow palette that I already have, and a sparkly lip gloss, because we also know I have my fill of lip glosses. But I think the P.Louise like budget box as a product, it was kind of like eye-catching, and then the Ensley Rain Cold Moon Volume 2 was kind of eye-catching, but again, because of the color tones in it, bit unsure is it actually something that I want to spend the Ensley Rain prices on, because it's one of their bigger palettes. It's probably gonna be also one of them on the expensive side. Comment down below what were your sort of top picks of launches, or if there was a launch that I didn't feature but you think was mention worthy, then do tell us about it. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell button if you want to get notifications for my future content. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I'll see you in the video. Bye bye.